Knew there was someone here. Why? Why is the auto-load feature so bad? If I don't auto-load, you don't bother. Nah, this game is actually bad, bro. What kind of silly game doesn't know that I'm going for that person? Hello, I'm Keenan Parker. Awite? And nasi tichambotaura nezve Rise of the Ronin. This game's story mainly talks about vengeance, alliance, and the struggle for a modern nation. Chandakaona ndechekuti the player is navigating in this world torn by a war. It's called the Boshin War. And urikufanira kusarudza nzira uchatora in the future of Japan. Honestly, the story can get confusing because of all of the different choices you have to make. But unoona through all the chill spots in Edo and the landscape of Yokohama, Mutambo uyu unoroka kangano yenyika yakuda kushanduka kutonge Zimbabwe pa-independence. So now this game was Team Ninja's biggest project from back in 2015 andika, and Team Ninja vanodoba musatambe nawo. Vakagadzira Ninja Gaiden, makona gameplay yacho apapa iri kutorakidza kuti it was promising handi. But what Team Ninja claims is that it was their first time creating an open world game, and vangojaira magame aya ekuti usually wacomplete a level wakusangana neanother player or vangasati vajaira zvechi kugadzira ma-NPCs all around an entire landscape, an entire world, you know. And after this game came out, yakawana ma scores like 76 on Metacritic and a 7 out of 10 on IGN, which is pretty questionable for a game at that price. Now let's talk gameplay. I'm going to start with the best parts, and I don't want to compare it with any other game. I'm just going to look at what I found was the best out of this game when it came to the gameplay. Firstly, I'd say the online multiplayer. Inini pane mamission andaitamba andika ekuti ndaitoda kubatsirwa, ndaitamba pa normal difficulty asi ndaida kutobatsirwa, and the online multiplayer yakandibatsira kundiwane vanhu vangu vatombonewo some experience these levels kuti tidefeat some of the hard bosses in the game. So online multiplayer was the best, followed by the character customization. The character customization is actually out of this world. Firstly, ndotaura about the black hairstyles. I think munhu wese anotozviziva kuti usually for black people panenge pangone 1 or 2 tuma hairstyle twakadhakwa. Usually it's just the classic fade or a bald head and the classic Bangalore hair. They didn't do that this time. There were many options for all different kinds of races, all different kinds of hairstyles. And ndichitamba multiplayer ndakambosangana nevanhu vaitonge Zoro wepa One Piece. You can get so creative with the character customization. On top of that, thirdly, let's go to the story system. I think the ability to choose paths in a video game is great. It makes the story longer. Number 4, I'm going to talk about the counter sparks. The counter sparks are just great. Counter sparks are basically when it lets you parry an enemy's attack, and the timing windows for counter sparks are really small, so it makes them rewarding when you manage to land a counter spark. Now onto the bad features about this game. Firstly, I'd like to talk about the horrible combat system. Now, if you're going to make a game with swords that require you to parry, right? At least make that the only thing about the game so that players can get used to that. But on top of knowing when to counter spark, you also have to learn how to manage your ki in this video game. Managing your ki is looking at that small blue bar at the bottom of the screen on top of your health and knowing when it's about to deplete so that you can run away, probably take a a key potion so that it's recovered. Because wakarowa key yako iri low, you enter this staggered state and then you're forced to take a hit. You can't even dodge when your key is depleted. So that was really hard to manage. And even though I guess they were trying to make all the weapons really rare, they created a really hard system of transferring weapon stats. You need resources that are really hard to come by. But on top of having a bond jewel, guess what? You need some rare material that that springs out of I don't know where. I've never come across that raw material. Usually it's being sold by merchants. Probably these merchants will run into them after 2 or 3 missions each. So it's a really hard trading system when it comes to transferring weapon stats. And this rare material, which looks like an iron bar that I'm talking about, can also be attained if you send a dog with some money to some shrine. So there's no hard and fast way to make this currency and then upgrade your weapons. No, you have to give your money to a dog and then to return it's either some silver shillings or to return some rare material, which I think is really unreasonable. At least find a different way to make your game entertaining. Now, on top of that, it takes a really long time to learn the combat styles. Each weapon comes with 3 combat styles, and you gain these combat styles by creating bonds with other players. For example, Ryoma will teach you the katana combat styles, and so will other players. Like I said before, I'm already 3/4 into the game, and I've only learned close to half of all the combat styles. I'd expect that if I'm reaching the apex of the game, I should have all of the combat styles, right? All of the combat styles so that I can defeat the boss with the best version of my player. But no, they decided to make it harder. Now the free roam isn't exciting because outside with this, there are too many items that you get in the game. I've seen other YouTubers talking about this as well. Every ninja you defeat, every enemy you defeat is probably dropping off something. So it's not really fun to go on these side quests if you already have all of this merch in your inventory, right? And on top of that, it brings me to the third thing that I found was bad. It's the difficulty of this game. I was playing this game on normal difficulty. I'm expecting that when you're creating a game at normal difficulty, you're creating the game for a casual user who probably only has 2 to 4 hours per day of playing this video game, and the game only requires them to master one trick of a game and then they're good to go. But because I had to manage my key, I had to learn when to counter spark correctly. The game was just too hard, and the enemies have so many different attack patterns. And this can be a pro and a con to some players. Now the fourth bad thing about this game, it's the multiplayer at times, okay? I know I said the multiplayer is great, but there are some issues about the multiplayer, okay? The multiplayer can be so laggy even if you have good internet, okay? When I was playing multiplayer, at times I was just mashing the attack button, but sometimes it was laggy. Sometimes my input was laggy, and that just brought the fun out of the multiplayer. Alright, now the interesting part everyone likes in a PS5 game, the graphics and the sound quality. Now, the graphics of Rise of the Ronin are absolutely stunning. If you even check all of my gameplay videos, you'll see what I'm talking about. The graphics yakadobwa inoita unge mkaka uri kuiswa padenga pehani, so it's so smooth. The graphics is smooth and the game never glitches. I've never had any experience like that. The graphics is spectacular, especially if you go to Yokohama and that place looks like it was taken straight from the Demon Slayer anime and made into a video game. It's absolutely stunning. I love the way the colors play in that area, and usually when you're playing missions, the sounds playing in the background are just so engaging. So each fight yandaipinda, like the fight with Gonzo in part 6, they are just so engaging, and you're just sitting by your controller for almost like 3 hours non-stop, just enjoying the fight, because they did a number on that. I loved that. Saka, to sum up everything, inango ndiri kuti game inema peak moments, like that epic fight with Gonzo yandiri kutaura, andika fight yakatongozvipira zvayo. That's your first time you meet an Odachi user, and he gives you a legendary Odachi once you defeat him. And then inema downs game andika, like the abundance of weapons and Rokutaura, that just sucks. So overall, I'd say I'll give this game a 6 out of 10. This game is not worth the 90 USD it's being sold for on the PlayStation Store. A game worth $90 is definitely something like Marvel Spider-Man 2 or God of War Ragnarok. This game is more for people vanoda character customization and magame ane parry system andika. And even if you like parry system so much, a better pick for a game like this would be Ghost of Tsushima. It's probably been out for a few more years, so it's much cheaper now, and the graphics is absolutely stunning. So that concludes my review, and I am actually done with Rise of the Ronin. I'm going to be transitioning to another game called Hi-Fi Rush. I hope it's great, and stay tuned for more, guys. Thank you.